Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're tackling a question lots of people are asking about a pretty specialized tech company. Is Ondas holding stock a good time to buy right now?
Yeah, they operate in this really interesting space, kind of at the crossroads of industrial wireless networks and autonomous drone technology. Big focus on defense and rail sectors. We've gone through a pile of their recent financials, market analysis, press releases, the whole lot. And our goal here is really to help you understand that, well, the two very different stories being told.
That's exactly right. You've got these opposing narratives playing out. On one hand, you look at the income statement, the balance sheet, and you see some significant historical risk, real operational challenges.
Okay.
But then you look at their recent press releases, their strategic moves, and you see this huge burst of momentum, a really big pivot financially speaking. We're going to try and unpack that duality for you. And before we jump in, just a quick reminder, if you find this analysis useful, please do subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. It really helps us out. Also, yeah, if there's a specific company you'd like us to look into next time, just drop it in the comments below.
All right, so let's ground ourselves first. Let's talk about the hard numbers, the fundamentals from their 2024 annual report. Because, understanding where they were is absolutely crucial to figuring out where they might be going.
Okay, let's unpack that history then before this big shift happened. What did things look like operationally? You mentioned revenue versus costs.
Yeah, so revenue for 2024 was $14.0 million. Now, that was up about 11% from 2023, which was $12.6 million. So there was growth.
Okay, 11%. Modest.
Exactly. Modest is the word,
Yeah.
especially when you compare it to their spending. The real kicker is profitability, or rather, the lack of it. Their net loss for 2024 was still huge, $37.1 million. Now, that was actually less of a loss than the $51.2 million the year before, so the losses were moderating technically. But still, $37.1 million is a substantial burn rate relative to $14 million in sales.
Right. And earnings per share, still negative, I assume.
Oh, yeah, deep in the red, $2.17 per share for 2024. So operationally, they were bleeding cash.
Which leads to the next question. What about their financial health? The actual cash they had to work with?
That's where it got really concerning. By the end of 2024, their cash and equivalents had dropped to just $11.9 million. That was down from $19.7 million the year before.
Okay, $11.9 million.
And think about this. Their operating cash flow for 2024, the cash they burned just running the business, was negative $25.2 million.
Wait, so they burned through more than double their entire cash reserve in just 1 year?
Exactly. They were burning way more cash than they had on hand.
Yeah.
That tells you they were operating in, well, survival mode, constantly needing to find more money.
That definitely signals serious risk. You hear analysts talk about going concern risk in situations like that, right?
Precisely. The risk that they just can't keep the lights on long enough to turn profitable. And that pressure, that need for cash, inevitably led to dilution for existing shareholders.
And we saw evidence of that continued pressure, didn't we? Even heading into late 2025 before the big news broke. What did those regulatory filings show?
Yeah, there was a prospectus supplement filed in September 2025. They were looking to sell another 40 million shares.
Okay, more shares.
But the key part was the price.
Yeah.
They were looking to sell them at just 0.275 cents per share, 27.5 cents.
Wow. That low price really underscores how maybe desperate the situation was perceived just before things changed. Huge risk for anyone holding stock then.
Absolutely. That was the old story of Ondas Holdings. Hi, potential tech? Yes, but fighting for survival against a massive cash burn.
Okay, so that sets the stage. A company really struggling financially, trying to sell stock at 0.275 cents. Let's shift gears then. What were they actually selling that justified burning all that cash? What's their supposed edge?
Right, so they have two main business lines, both in high potential, but frankly really tough markets.
Yeah.
First is their industrial wireless stuff, using their proprietary full max radios.
Full Mac X radios. What are those used for?
Think secure, reliable wireless networks for critical infrastructure. Their big focus there has been Class 1 railways, providing the communication backbone. It's based on software-defined radio technology.
Okay, industrial communications. Got it. And the second piece, the drone tech.
Yeah, and this seems to be where the recent excitement is centered. They do autonomous drone technology, specifically what's called drone-in-a-box solutions.
Drone in a box.
Basically, fully automated drone systems. They sit in a box, launch themselves, fly missions, land, and recharge, all remotely managed. They're targeting rail inspection and, importantly, security and defense applications. The claimed advantage is their proprietary autonomy software.
That sounds advanced, but also sounds like you're going up against some giants, especially in defense and rail. And those industries aren't known for moving quickly, are they?
Not at all. They're definitely a challenger. We know from the source materials they've been doing testing with major Class 1 railways. They're engaged with the FAA talking to defense folks.
Right.
But as of the Q3 2025 updates before the major capital raise, there were no big material contract wins announced. It points to exactly what you said. Long, drawn-out sales cycles. Getting those big organizations to adopt new tech takes time.
So the tech might be good, but turning it into actual significant revenue was proving really slow and expensive. They needed something to break that cycle.
They needed a catalyst,
Yeah.
a shortcut, almost. And that leads us directly into the massive strategic shift. This is where the narrative just flips completely.
Right. Forget the slow burn and the 0.275 stock. What happened in September 2025 that changed everything?
It was all about capital. While that 0.275 prospectus was probably still warm, they announced and conceded a huge, frankly transformative, $200 million common stock offering.
Hold on. $200 million.
$200 million.
After trying to raise money at 27 cents, what price did they get for this $200 million raise?
That's the jaw dropper. They priced this offering at $5 per share.
$5. From 0.275 to $5 almost overnight. That's an incredible difference. What does that even mean?
It means some serious institutional investors look past the ugly historical financials and believe the future strategy justified a valuation almost 20 times higher. That $5 price is a massive vote of confidence in the pivot they were making.
Okay, so they suddenly have this $200 million war chest. What's the plan? Where's that money going? Because $200 million for a company with $14 million in revenue, that's not just survival money, that's serious fuel.
It's rocket fuel, exactly. Right. And the target is crystal clear. Global defense and security markets. They're not waiting for organic growth anymore.
How are they deploying it?
They announced the creation of a new unit back in August 2025 called Ondas Capital. This is the vehicle. The plan is for Ondas Capital to deploy $150 million of that new cash over the next 2 years, starting basically now, Q4 2025.
$150 million. For what specifically?
The stated goal is to accelerate deployment in allied defense and security markets. Think acquisitions, joint ventures, strategic partnerships, ways to buy or partner their way into faster revenue growth in those high-margin defense areas. The formal launch is expected around December 12, 2025.
So they're essentially trying to buy market share and capability in defense.
Precisely. And they're signaling this shift very deliberately. They recently showcased their Iron Drone radar system. That's one of their drone products at a big counter-drone exercise called CUAS IDC 2025.
Okay, getting it in front of military users.
Exactly. It's about validation, showing the tech is ready for serious defense applications. Plus, they brought General Patrick Houston onto their advisory board. That adds immediate military credibility and connections.
So the story shifted from can they survive to, okay, they've got the money, now what can they buy and who can they partner with? Fascinating pivot. How did the stock market react to all this? The technical chart must look pretty wild.
Well, it's complicated because the fundamental story changed so drastically, right? Before this late September news, the chart looked, frankly, terrible. The stock was stuck down between roughly $0.21 and 38 cents. It had fallen hard from over $1 earlier in the year, trading way below its moving averages. The trend was clearly bearish, reflecting that cash burn reality.
But does that old chart even matter now? If they raised $200 million at $5, does resistance at $1.78 mean anything anymore?
That's the million-dollar question for traders, isn't it?
Right.
Technically, those old support and resistance levels around 20 cents or $1.40 still exist on the chart. But the context is completely different.
Right.
The massive influx of cash at a much higher valuation suggests those lower levels might be, well, less relevant. However, you'd expect volatility to stay high as the market tries to figure out the real impact of this $200 million and how effectively they can actually deploy it.
Makes sense. What about sentiment? You mentioned the institutional confidence shown by the $5 price. What about retail investors? Are they buying into this turnaround story?
It seems pretty polarized. Our sources suggest retail sentiment is still kind of negative to neutral. A lot of investors got burned by the past dilution, so there's understandable skepticism about, going concern risk, even with the new cash.
So wary.
Yeah, wary. But institutional sentiment obviously flipped very positive with that $5 offering. Interestingly, we haven't seen a flood of major analyst upgrades yet. That might mean the big Wall Street analyses are still catching up or waiting for more proof points.
Okay, so what are those key proof points? What are the upcoming events or catalysts that everyone's watching now?
The most immediate one is their Q3 earnings report. It's estimated around October 25th, 2025. Now, the Q3 numbers themselves won't show the impact of the new capital yet.
Right, it's too soon.
Exactly. But what everyone will be listening for is management's commentary, their detailed plan. How are they going to spend that $150 million? What kinds of acquisitions are they targeting? Are there any early signs of traction in defense or homeland security deals?
So the forward guidance is key.
Absolutely. Beyond earnings, there's a lot of market chatter, speculation. People are wondering about a potential large government contract win for that Iron Drone Raider system, maybe in Q4, especially after they showed it off at that CUAS event.
Any other rumors?
Well, there's talk about potential inclusion in robotics or tech ETS, which could drive buying.
Well,
And then there are always M&A rumors swirling around companies like this, both Ondas buying someone else or Ondas itself becoming a takeover target for a larger defense contractor wanting their drone tech.
okay, so let's try and pull this all together. It's quite a story. We started with a company that looked like it was circling the drain financially, burning cash fast, low on reserves, needing money at $2,275.
And now, almost overnight, they have a $200 million injection, a clear mandate to spend $150 million aggressively buying into the defense market, and institutional backing at a $5 valuation.
So the investment thesis has completely shifted. It's no longer about survival.
Not at all. It's now entirely about execution. Can management take this massive pile of cash and successfully, quickly deploy it through Ondas Capital to win significant profitable contracts in defense and security? That's the bet.
Because those markets, while potentially lucrative, are still tough nuts to crack, right? Long sales cycles, entrenched players. The historical challenges haven't vanished entirely.
Exactly. The fundamental weaknesses, the underlying operational cash burn before any acquisitions kick in, the difficulty of landing those big government or rail contracts, those are still there. Success hinges completely on whether this $200 million lets them leapfrog those hurdles.
So the core question for you, our listener, is really about belief in this pivot. Do you trust that the institutional money saw something real? Is this $200 million enough to overcome the past problems and unlock the potential in their drone and communication tech, especially in defense?
Or is it just delaying the inevitable, potentially burning through that cash without achieving the necessary scale and profitability? It's a high-stakes turnaround play.
That was an excellent breakdown. Really highlights the extreme risk-reward scenario here with Ondas Holdings.
And it leaves us with a crucial question for you to consider. When you see a speculative tech company make a move like this, getting a massive capital lifeline, where should your focus be as an investor? Do you bet on the potential unlocked by the new cash and strategy? Or do you stay anchored to the historical operational struggles and the execution risk that still lies ahead?
Lots to think about there. Thank you for joining us for this analysis of Ondas Holdings. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment, especially if there's another company you want us to examine for you. We'll catch you next time on Investing Talk Podcast.